So I tried making a video earlier about this, and Lake was not having a good time. She was screaming about something. But anyways, I added some electronics, not like PCB type electronics, but like gauges. We've got volts, water temp, and oil pieces. The band on the oil pressure is a little too wide. It does work. I do get a reading. This switch was already here. That was my kill switch. I repurposed it to be my start button. And I have a master switch here now that when I flick that on, you might just be able to hear a relay over there clicking, but this energizes the system. Then I've got water temp right there, oil pressure right there. I've got a fuel leak. Oh, it's getting pretty bad. I better tighten that up. I went ahead and put the chrome alternator on there just because I think it's cool. That's the one I got from BW Parts. I got that one from the jungle. But these are just some updates I did to it. I've replaced this handle. So this is my wiring diagram that I made, so I could keep track of this in my head. I'm not going to be using NO of C1. So that switch right there is that switch. Oh. Let me find something to hold this down with. Okay, so I've got, that says 12 right there. It looks like 2. But that switch right there, that guy right there, is this switch. And when it comes on, it energizes C1. The normally closed of C1 opens when that happens. This is the magneto. For it to shut off, it has to ground. So when I flick that switch on, it energizes C1 and opens that. When I flick that off, it de-energizes that and closes that, causing the magneto to ground, which shuts it off. So I've also got my push button to start, which is fed through that master switch. That goes directly to the solenoid, starter solenoid. I'm gonna have a C2 in there. I'm gonna do that when I do the low oil pressure switch. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna do it, but anyways, my grand scheme is to be able to have a low oil pressure switch, and when the push button for starting is engaged, C2 will be energized. When C2 energizes, NC, normally closed of C2, will open, which renders the LOP useless. When PB opens and de-energizes C2, C2 normally closed will close, letting LOP become active again. It's going to be a normally closed switch, so when it reads more than 5 psi of oil pressure, it's going to open. And when that is closed and that is open, magneto is not grounded. if oil pressure drops to 0, LOP closes, magneto goes through LOP, goes through those, goes to ground. So here's energized, and I've got my volts, water temp, oil pressure. I'm gonna start it. It's gonna get possibly a little louder. So oil pressure came up a little bit. It's only making like 20 PSI. I don't know if I'm low on oil or what. Nope. That bang was that piece falling down. Water temp is up around 180. And volts looks kind of scary. It's not. It's only making 14.5. It's a 12 volt system. Everything 12 volts is good for, I don't know, 15. So anyways, that's how I start it. And then when I want to shut it off, now no more jumper cables. No more having to drag Justin over here and hook up the jumper cables to the starter, because this thing is basically a little car. It's a little tractor. That's what it sounds like, a little Ford 8N tractor. It's got an alternator and a battery and starter. It can start itself, monitor itself. I can monitor these gauges, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. If it's not, shut her down and get that guy going. But there we go. That's my video for right now.